All right, just a couple of reflections on life and this incredible body that we live in. I recently had a son. Thank you, Hashem. Baby boy, my first after 3 girls, which I'm also very grateful for, of course. And I've been thinking about this incredible body that we live in. And when I say we live in, meaning there's I call it my essence, my soul, who I really am, my true self, you name it. And I reside in this body. And as I held my son for that first time, as we were actually like transferring him out of the from the operating room to the recovery room, and I was just looking at this new little baby who was just came from somewhere and is now in this body. And he's so helpless. He can't like lift his arms. He doesn't know how to like use his eyes or his anything. Some things are kind of instinctive, like his hands are just kind of moving around uncontrollably, and his mouth is doing funny things. It's like trying to suck just like instinctively, but there's no real control over anything really. And it's amazing how over time we learn how to use it. Kind of like you got yourself a new car or a new iPhone, and at the beginning we're not really sure how it operates, and then as we have time with it, we're able to do really cool things with it. We figure out all its features, and you kind of can, maybe these days it's even hard to maximize the potential that we have in our devices. There's so much we can do with them that we keep finding out. But say there is some type of limit and you've mastered, the iPhone 15 or whatever model you have, there is like a limit to what it can do. And then you have this human body that is also some sort of vehicle for your soul. I like the word soul, or for you, who you really are. We come down here kind of like using the body as an avatar. If you're familiar with the movie Avatar, and he sits in a machine somewhere and gets blasted into a different universe and takes on a new body, and he has to learn how to use it. So that's pretty much what we have here. And you can see the child's development, and at some point we adult and think we've really figured it out, but we are not even close. Not even close. I mean, think about it. You have this physical thing, and there are many things it can do that you can see. You can move your hands and create different things. You can create music with your voice. You can hear things. If you just use your senses, you can taste, you can smell, you can hear, which is super cool because the voice is traveling on, some type of frequency, and based on that frequency, you're going to pick up different sounds, from high to low. And then there's some sounds you can't pick up. Our ears are just not sensitive enough to it. There are other things that no matter how in tune we are with the physical body, we still won't pick up on them, like thoughts. You're not going to open up someone's brain and see, oh, there's that thought. It's right there. But it's through our body that we're able to actually hold the thought. It's just a matter of how in tune we are with the sensitivities that our minds are capable of picking up on what we can pick up. And at some point, a person may become more emotionally intelligent and then be able to pick up on more emotions. But even just the fact that we could pick up on any emotion is incredible. Super, super incredible. And I know from my own experience that as a younger person, I couldn't pick up on too many things. It was too overwhelming or whatnot. But as I develop an adult a little bit more every day, I'm able to learn how to use this vessel that I live in, my body, and my mind, and my heart, and the capability that it has to pick up on things that are on a much, I think it's a higher frequency, so it's harder to pick up on it naturally. Naturally, it's much easier for me to see something, that's right in front of my eyes, but something that takes a lot of concentration or quieting of the mind would be a lot more difficult. So say, it's just as simple as your child is coming at you and screaming, maybe hitting you. The first thing that is visible and is able to pick up, and it's like, wow, what is wrong with this person? That will be my first thought. And don't hit me. Don't you dare hit me. That will be like the thoughts and the emotions that may instinctively come at first. But if I can quiet that out and just breathe through that and quiet the initial and low frequency emotions that are coming with this experience, there's way more to explore. And that is just also, from what I believe, I don't know because I haven't fully discovered what this body is capable of doing, but I imagine that is just the beginning. That is not even the beginning. There's so much, there's definitely unlimited amount of what's going on this planet. And the more I can refine this tool, the higher the vibration and the higher the frequencies I can pick up on. So it's kind of like, for example, you have a radio, and now it's all digital. You press buttons and it moves from channel to channel. Back in the day, you actually had to turn that dial, and that would change the frequency. It's actually called the frequency because there's sounds just traveling through the air at all time, and the naked ear can't pick up on those sounds. But if I use this device that's called a radio, it has the capability of picking up on those waves and transmitting them to me in audio that I can hear with my ears. And that's pretty cool, but a sophisticated device. But if I would yell into that radio, the most hateful of words or the most loving, it doesn't really affect the radio at all. It doesn't pick up on that frequency. So it can pick up on the physical frequency of the waves, of the sound waves moving through the air, but the emotional frequency that is behind the words, it cannot pick up at all. The only thing that does pick that up is a me. Maybe some animals too, but for the most part it's a human being. If we can train our minds to not get just caught up in the first and lowest of the vibrations that come our way. There's so much to pick up on her. There's so much. Some may call this spirituality, which I guess it is, but it's actually super scientific and super physical at the same time. It's just not as obvious. So yeah, when just holding this new baby, it's so clear that it's not like, oh, he's born and this is him. It's this new thing. It's like the body is new. The body is new, but the soul that is now living inside this body and using this body as a vehicle for its experience on this earth is not new at all. Yet it has to learn how to operate within this vehicle. And without this soul, obviously the body would not even have any life force. So the whole life that is in it is the soul, but together they can do incredible things. And I can just see that the baby has no idea how to use its body. And then I look at myself and I'm like, oh, I need to use this thing pretty well. I can walk, I can run, I can ski, I can sing, and I can yell, I can talk, and I can eat on my own, and I know how to use my hands. Like I'm making these movements versus the kid that is just born. It's nothing. It's gonna learn from scratch. It's gotta learn from scratch. But for me to think that in the 36 years that I'm living, I've mastered this body, ha ha ha, no, no, no. Wow, I'm only just beginning. And that is fascinating to me. I'm pretty sure I've learned that Avram Avinu, when he turned 99, I think when after he had his bris, I remember learning somewhere, I think in a sikha, that years ago, this isn't recent, so correct me if I'm wrong, but that he became a master of his whole body. That's what we're talking about, where he could control everything in his body. And we say body, we don't just mean the physical elements of your body, but also the emotional, intellectual parts of our body, where we're able to pick up on any frequency that we desire. We are so in control of choosing what we want to pick up on, what we want to let pass, and knowing where exactly it is. Like he can dial. Avram Avinu was able to dial in his body to any frequency that existed or that exists, and pick up on those vibrations and see what's there. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I'm learning how to do that. Meditation definitely is one of the keys to helping that, where we learn to watch the mind and get past the first thoughts, the first line of defense. And it really is a defense. When something happens, the first thoughts that come on are like, defend, that's it. But if we drop that guard, we're like, what else is in this? What else is here? What else can I learn from this experience? And every experience is packed with so many layers, so many layers. So I encourage anybody that's listening to this to experiment with that. Next time you experience something, it doesn't matter if it seems to be good, it seems to be bad, which is obviously just our judgment, judging this is good, this is not good. But if we can lower that judgment, move past it, we may find a whole lot more in that experience. And then beyond that, even more, if we can just move through the layers of information that comes with us, that comes to us with every experience. So there's that low vibration, easy to pick up on, that we might say, oh, what a terrible experience, and it hurt me in this way. Okay, breathe through that. What else is here? And if we can let those thoughts pass through us, then there's a higher vibration, a higher frequency, something else. And not have to get caught on that. That's always like, oh, I figured it out, it's this. No, there's always going to be something else. And to never really stop. Never stop. Just keep going, and tap into higher and higher and higher. I don't even know if the word higher is the right word, because higher in infinity, is it really even higher? But maybe more delicate messaging, more delicate information that more, we would say, more in tune with God, which is also all relative. Everything's godliness. So, but it's just interesting, and just thought I would record these thoughts and even throw them out onto the internet. Bam. And then see if my voice and this visual recording will make it to somebody else. And that would be the completion of the experience, where I can share words, that behind these words, they're not just words, there's an idea, there's a thought, there's an emotion. And if you can pick up on that, that's what I'm talking about. How cool is that? Because I guarantee you, if we cut open this laptop that I'm recording on, or the audio device that you're listening on, there would be no physical evidence of either the visual or the audio, or definitely not the emotions and the intellect behind what I'm saying, because those move on a more delicate frequency than hardware. They're kind of in the software, and they're not physically tangible, but they're moving through a higher frequency. So I think that's really, really cool. Anywho, cheers.